Well, now that we've seen how the pistol fires, we can proceed with further disassembly. Remove the magazine, and the grip safety and the back of the frame, the back strap, are actually pivoted together and held by this pin. If at this point we simply put a little pressure on the little back strap there against that, you notice the pin just fell right out. Or you might have to just tap it out a little bit, but certainly no hammer, no big punch, and it just dropped out like this, which then sort of makes this look a little free. If we now use a thumbnail or some convenient little thing and just kind of convince the combination of the safety, the grip safety, and the back strap, it will just free up and drop down. If we notice, there was this hooked under a bar down at the bottom to keep it in place when it was all the way up. Now it's basically free and it drops out. You can see it's a two-piece assembly, and the pin went through, held the whole thing together. The grip safety, this pin bears against a spring which keeps it out, and here's the actual working end of the grip safety at the top. There are serial numbers on this, by the way. With the grip safety and the back strap removed, we can now, the spring that was being pushed by the grip safety is reasonably free, and we can now lift off the trigger bar. The trigger bar came off, and now the trigger will simply fall out. Got to remember, when we put this back together, that the trigger has an ear on one side that is engages the trigger bar, and we want to make sure that ear is on the left side of the pistol where it can re-engage. With the trigger bar and the trigger itself removed, we see that the spring that operates the trigger bar and also the sear is pretty loose. If we just coax it out so that the bottom, which is got a little curve and a slot in there, it can be simply coaxed out of the frame, or it's now free and just needs a little wiggling to bring it out, and we have our flat spring. With the spring out, there's nothing to hold in the mag safety and the sear, and it just lifts straight up off of a pin. There's a pin down here that it pivoted on, and now it is free. It doesn't come apart. The sear is pivoted onto the mag safety. It is a captive at that point. I wouldn't recommend taking it out. You notice the serial numbers are also on this. Well, now we have the whole gun completely apart, and it is can be cleaned or done when we want. Well, we didn't take the magazine release out, but that comes out. If you get it out far enough, you can remove the catch. We left the safety in just because I didn't want to fool with it. This is a reassembly, is just follow it in a reverse order, and it goes back together very simply with no real tools involved. This concludes the third part of our video series on how to field strip and disassemble the model MAB Model C/D 32 caliber pistol.